We're going to be talking more about the slope of the line. Go to our warm-up for today. And let's do our warm-up. So 1 minus -4. Remember that the negative is going to make a plus sign. So now we have 1 plus 4, which is 5. We have, and some people are needing it to be on a number line. So if I'm at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, -1, -2, -3. Oh, I should have done it longer, sorry. -6. -7, -8. Okay, so if on this first one, you're like, what? So I started at 1. It says to go negative, but then it says go back the other way. And I was supposed to go back the other way 4 times. So these two canceled each other out. Those two negatives canceled each other out. The next one says I start at -5 and I need to go in the negative direction 2 times. When I do that, I get to -7. I am not doing it this way for this. -20 plus 4. When the signs are different, you subtract. So 20 minus 4 will get 16. But there are more negatives than there are positives, so it is -16. This one, they're both negative, so you add and keep the sign. Psi formed the following ordered pairs to represent the corners of a building. Plot the points on the coordinate grid. I should have put one up here for you. So -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I go up 2. And then it says 4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. I guess I should 4, 2. -4, 2. And then -4, -2. -4, -2. And then 4, -2. Over 4, down 2. And now I have a rectangle. It's not perfect, boys and girls, but it's the best I can do. Awesome. Okay, one of the tallest roller coasters in the United States is the Millennium Force located in Ohio. Passengers on the steel roller coaster experience a speed up to 93 miles per hour and a 300-foot drop. Whew. The ride at the amusement park rises, so it goes up 8 feet for every 2 feet. What is this? What are some ways in which you can describe the steepness? Well, we can do a unit rate. So that would be 4 feet per 1 foot. And I should probably say vertically. And I should say horizontally. I guess you could say 8 feet up and 2 feet over. Okay, so let's look at this. How can we demonstrate the concept of slope as you travel from one point to another on a coordinate plane? So, to change the horizontal and vertical values, press the box that you needed. Okay, so that's just teaching you how to use this. So, it says, make sure the horizontal and vertical values are set to 1. Oh, you have to watch that. I didn't realize that. Okay, so I am going to let you do that in there. And I'm just going to go to this. Okay, the term slope is used to describe the steepness, and it's important that you know that. Slope is the steepness of a line. Slope is the rate of change between any 2 points on a line. The vertical change is referred to as the rise. The horizontal change is the run. So slope is the ratio of the rise to run. Now, last time in class, I talked about it as the change in y over the change in x. The change in y is the rise. The change in x is the run. So slope is the ratio of rise to run. Okay? When it's positive, it looks like this. When it's negative, it looks like that. So without doing anything, is this positive or negative? Well, if I look at it, it's going uphill. So that means it is a positive slope. And then, just like we did last time, the change in y over the change in x. So how tall is it? It's 3 tall. How far over it? 4. So my slope is 3 over 4. Okay. So again, if I have 2 points, how tall is it? How far over is it? I go up 2. I go over to the 1, right 1. This one, is it positive or negative? Well, it's going this direction, so it is a positive slope. How far up is it? 2. How far over is it? 3. So 2 over 3. This one, if I look at it, it is a negative slope. We are talking about a negative slope. Okay, to calculate the slope, find the ratio of vertical to, so we're going from this down to here. So we go down, we're going down 4, so negative 4. So negative 4. How far over did we go? We went over 6. Negative 4 over 6 is the same thing as negative 2 over 3. Okay. Is this positive or negative? It is a negative slope. It goes in the negative direction. So slope is going to equal. How far down do I go? How far across? I went down 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I went to the right 1. So negative 4 over 1, which is negative 4. Okay. So I look at this. The table shows the linear relationship between the balance in a bank account and the number of transactions. The relationship is linear because there is a constant rate of change or slope. The slope relationship is negative $10 per transaction. Okay? So the change in y is negative 30. The change in x is 3. Negative 10 over 1, which is negative 10. What does negative 10 mean? It means $10 less per transaction. Okay, so we do the same thing here. Okay, this is going up by 4, up by 4, up by 4. This is going up by 1, up by 1, up by 1. So it wants to know the change in y. So I subtract the y's. you can choose whichever ones you want. I would probably choose these two because they're not negative. Oh, it tells you which ones they want you to use. But we're going to use mine real quick, and then we'll come back to that. So 0 minus 1, 2 minus 6. So that would get me negative 1 over negative 4, which would get me 1/4. Now, if we use the points that they said to use, will I come out with the same amount? So if I use these two right here, negative 2 minus negative 1, negative 6 minus negative 2. Turns to positive. So negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. Turns to positive. That would get me negative 4. So 1/4. So it still comes out the same. Doesn't matter which one you use. So I'm going to do it here. From here to here, I'm going down by 4. Going down by 4. Going down by 4. I'm going down by 8. Going down by 8, down by 8. So negative 4 over negative 8 will get me 1/2. Okay, you can find slope of a line from any 2 points on the line using the slope formula. It does not matter which 2 points you define as x1, y1, and x2, y2. However, the coordinates of both points must be used in the same order. Okay, so this is the formula that we're going to have. So, when I do this, tells me right here that x1, y1 is this point. It tells me x2, y2 is this point. So, if I'm doing y2 first, that means that 6 is going first. That's why it's right there. Then y1. So then this one comes. Then it says x2. So then we have this one. And then this one. So I subtract, I get 3 over 4. Okay. So I need it from point 2. So I'm going to put the 3 here and the negative 4. Then it says point 1. So I'm going to do point 1. 2 there, 1 there. I subtract. 3 minus 2 is 1. Negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. So my answer is negative 1/5. If we switched it around and we did the 2 first, 2 minus 3, that would get me negative 1. If I switched it around, 1 minus negative 4, that changes that, 5. It comes out to the same exact answer. So here, so slope, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So y2 is negative 4 minus y1 is 2. x2 is 5 minus x1 is negative 3. So negative 6 on top, this turns to a plus sign, 8, so negative 3/4. Okay. Now, 0 and undefined slope. So I'm going to pick 2 points here. This is the point 0, 3. This is the point -1, 3. If I do this, I do 3 minus 3 over -1 minus 0. 0 over -1. What's 0 divided by anything? Oops, 0. So the horizontal line has a slope of 0. Here, I'm going to pick 2 points. So this is the point 3, 3, and this is the point 3, 0. 3 minus 0 over 3 minus 3. 3 over 0. If you plug that into your calculator, you'll see that you get an error. This is an undefined slope. Undefined slope because you cannot divide by 0. So, find the slope. 4 minus 4 over 2 minus -3. 0 over 5, which is 0. Five minus 5 over -4 minus 2. Or you could have done 5 minus 5 over 2 minus -4. I don't care. Either way, it'll work. 0 over -6 or 0 over 6. Either way, the answer is 0. Undefined slope. Okay. 0 minus 3 over 1 minus 1. -3 over 0, undefined. You can't divide by 0. Okay. So 8 minus 3 over -2 minus -2. This turns to a plus sign, so I get 5 over 0, which is undefined. Wesley and Jane both earned money mowing lawns in the summer and wanted to keep track of their earnings. Wesley tracked his earnings with the graph, while Jane tracked her earnings with the table. Who's earning money at the faster rate? So we find slope. So if I do this, how far up do I go? The change in y or the change in x? Change in y. I went from 0 to 24. I went from 0 to 1. So this is $24 per lawn. Then over here, I went up by, that's a 232. Is that right? Yeah. And this is up by 2. This went up by 232. This one up by 2. So the change in y over the change in x, 32 over 2. So that is $16 per lawn. Okay. Who makes more money per lawn? Wesley does. Okay.